Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My current schedule for uploading videos is a bit wonky because there is a lot of stuff in the background, work related and otherwise going on, so I wasn't really having the time to make all the videos that I wanted, among other things. This is one project that has come up rather recently. One of my D&D characters, well, he kicked the bucket, and I created a replacement character for the old one, and this is me making the visual character design. At least the character is finished and prepped for the next session, mostly. I haven't written the backstory yet, but the visual part is what I'm currently working on. It's a paladin, so we're looking into plate mail. I had a first draft of this that I started making on the weekend, but I ran into kind of a setback, so I dumped the project for the weekend. Hence, no second video on Sunday, and I picked it up on the week when I had time and finished it, more or less. I'm not really finished. I have a few details I want to add, but the main bulk of the armor is finished. It's a plate mail. I used the example that I used on the Saturday weekend video as a basis, and then I made first the plating on the torso, on the waist and the abdomen, which is just a few tubes that I then shaped around the body loosely. Now this is not really fitting, this is relatively loosely. The slip is the slip part is also plate, or it's supposed to be plate, is also, yeah, a thing that I made from scratch. And you can see that I'm already working with some ornaments here, like big chains on the front. The next part that I currently working on, or that I then worked on, was the collar. I actually finished this yesterday, but since I have work this week that is very demanding time-wise, I couldn't finish the video yesterday, so this is why the video is a day late. Yeah, I made her a collar. I didn't want to do a helmet, mainly because I am not really a big fan of helmets per se, so I decided to just opt out of it. The collar is, I think, adequate, and it still shows part of the character. At this point, I want to finish a part of this design. The brim of the chest pieces is, yeah, it got a slight upgrade with the additional extrusions upwards, which just add a bit more detail. I took a bit of time actually figuring out how I wanted to do the arms. The upper arm has its single shape, and the joint is really just like a ball that I loosely fit to be there, so it would like be a visible joint. I also will add some rings on the hand, on the fingers, so that there will actually be joints in the armor, because right now this would look very weird, or it looks kind of weird if I render it, because it looks like it's really bendable metal, which isn't really good for an armor anyway. I did the first UV maps for the arms right then and there, because obviously I wanted to copy over the arm to the other side. You will see me copy the arm and the leg a few times, because at first I wanted to copy it, then I thought, hey, I can do ornaments on the arms and legs. so I will copy it later, and then decided, hey, I'm going to do unsymmetrical stuff on the arms and legs, so I then copied it again before the ornaments. So this is a bit of front and back. The leg design is basically the same as the upper arm. It is very simplistic. It is just a tube that is folded or fit around the upper leg, and then I gave it the same swirling brim or the same swirling edge. The edge is actually a bit more interesting because the joint is the same as before. It's just a ball that are a sphere that I then loosely fit around the joint of the person, of the body. Yeah, the edge that I wanted to talk about is relatively simplistic. What I did is I made it relatively thick. The strength is 0.1 units, which gives the whole item a relatively thick, relatively stable look, which is one of the tricks that I figured out that I'm sharing quite often actually. And yeah, this was really a fun thing to do. You can see that the edge coils around the leg and is relatively simply made. I thought about doing a heel or a not heel, and I thought, well, this is for me mostly, so I'm gonna do heels because I like heels. No surprises here, nothing new. But yeah, I've basically made a new shoe more or less. I thought about importing these shoes I already have and working with them, but I decided that I was just gonna do this from scratch, because then I can make it a bit more rough, make it a bit more shaped, so it looks more stable, more armor-like. Like my usual shoes, my usual boots are relatively filigrane, relatively well shaped to the body, form-fitting, you could say. And I wanted to have this the feeling of being more broad, bigger, so it fits better to the aesthetic of an actual armor. As you can see, there's a few pieces where the armor doesn't fit, basically around the hip joint, the leg hip joint, and the shoulder. There's a bit of skin visible. That is, for one, intentional, because this is still kind of a pin-up. And also I thought about covering this with like chain mail or something, or just putting fabric in between it. I thought, well, no, I'm just going to have this relatively simple in this case. What I did at this place, I imported the forms of the ornament forms, and then I fit them onto the armor. As you can see, a relatively simple thing to do. Again, I did the detailed video about how to make these ornaments, what a quick way is to make these ornaments, relatively early, so you can rewatch this if you want. It's the last video before this one. Yeah, I try to not overdo it with the ornaments here. So yeah, you can also see that I copy pasted the leg just again to have the ornaments not be symmetrical and not be inverted. I also added like a chain. I'm thinking of redoing the chain because I'm not really happy with how it currently looks. I'm not really, at least on the arm, it's not really what I wanted. It's a nice addition, but it's not really adding that much. there's also going to be an emblem later on. Yeah, last step, as usual, I'm going through everything and adding all the UV map. This is relatively simply made because everything is going to be metal anyway. Yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will have more content on the weekend, I hope. So stay healthy, stay safe, and I will hopefully see you guys around.